The boardroom was colder than it needed to be. Glass walls, leather chairs, faces with no expression. At the head of the table sat Evelyn Cross, CEO of Croswell Industries, one of the most powerful women in the city. Her hands were folded, but they trembled slightly. "Please," she said quietly, eyes lowered. "Just make it fast." The room went silent. Everyone assumed she was talking about the presentation, the vote, the decision that would end something important. Everyone except him. Marcus Hill stood near the door, holding a toolbox and wearing a faded jacket with paint stains on the sleeve. Single dad, a maintenance worker, someone who was supposed to be invisible. But Marcus recognized that tone. He'd heard it before. From his late wife in the hospital, from his son the night eviction notices came, from people who felt cornered and out of hope. Evelyn wasn't asking for efficiency. She was asking for mercy. Marcus stepped forward. "Ma'am," he said gently. Every head turned. Security stiffened. One executive frowned. "Sir, this is a closed meeting." Marcus didn't argue. He did something no one expected. He pulled off his jacket. Underneath was a plain shirt, and a scar that ran from his shoulder down his chest, visible through the fabric where it stretched thin. "I know that look," Marcus said calmly, eyes on Evelyn. "You think whatever's coming will hurt less if it's quick?" Evelyn looked up startled. "You don't know me," she said, voice tight. "No," Marcus replied.
"Oh."
"But I know fear." The board chair cleared his throat. "This is inappropriate." Marcus nodded. "Then I'll be quick." He turned to Evelyn. "My wife said those same words before surgery," he continued. "She didn't want to fight anymore. Thought it was already over." Evelyn's breath caught. "She survived," Marcus said, "not because it was fast, but because someone slowed down and listened." The room felt different now. Heavy. Evelyn swallowed. "You should leave," she whispered, not angrily, but shaken. Marcus stepped back, slipping his jacket over his arm. "I will," he said. "But before you decide anything today, remember this." He met her eyes. Strong people don't ask for things to end fast. They ask because they're tired of being strong alone. Silence. Evelyn stared at the table, then slowly pushed her chair back. "Meeting adjourned," she said. Executives protested. Lawyers whispered. But she stood. As Marcus turned to leave, Evelyn spoke again, her voice barely holding together. "Wait." She looked at him like he'd just cracked something open she'd spent years sealing shut. "Who are you?" Marcus paused. "Just a single dad," he said. "Who knows what it's like to almost give up?" Evelyn nodded slowly. Because in that moment, she realized pulling off that jacket didn't just change the meeting, it saved her. The boardroom stayed empty long after everyone left. Evelyn Cross stood by the window, staring down at the city she ruled, but for the first time, It felt like it was closing in on her. "Find him," she said quietly to her assistant. "The man with the jacket." Within minutes, Marcus Hill was escorted back, not by security, but by Evelyn herself. They sat across from each other in a smaller conference room. No glass walls, no audience. "You embarrassed my board," Evelyn said. Marcus nodded. "It wasn't my intention. You interrupted a billion-dollar decision." "Yes, ma'am." She exhaled slowly. "Then why do I feel like you saved my life?" Marcus didn't answer right away. "My wife died 3 years ago," he said finally. "Cancer. She held on longer than doctors expected, not because she wanted to live for herself, but because she didn't want our son to grow up thinking quitting was courage." Evelyn's eyes softened. "I was ready to quit today," she admitted. "Not the job. Life, that landed heavy." She confessed everything: the pressure, the threats from investors, the lawsuit that could destroy her legacy, the loneliness of being powerful and unseen. "I thought if I let them vote today," she said, "it would be over fast." Marcus leaned forward. Evelyn laughed bitterly. "You sound like my conscience." "Maybe," he said. "Or maybe I'm just someone who's already lost everything once." She studied him. "Why are you really here, Marcus?" "Not today, in this building." He hesitated. "My son's school is across the street," he said. "I took this job so I could walk him home every day." That broke her. All the money in the world, and she couldn't remember the last time someone waited for her. "Do you know what people call me?" Evelyn asked quietly. "The Ice Queen." Marcus smiled faintly. "Ice melts when someone stays long enough." She looked at him, truly looked at him. "Stay," she said, "not as a janitor, as something else." "Like what?" "My advisor," she said. "My reminder." Marcus shook his head. "Not qualified." Evelyn stood, walked to the door, then turned back. "I wasn't qualified to be this lonely either." She paused. "Please." Same word, different meaning. Marcus didn't answer, because the truth was what he was about to do next would change both their lives. The next morning, Croswell Industries made headlines. Not for a merger, not for a lawsuit, but for a name no one expected to see on the executive floor. Marcus Hill, special advisor to the CEO. The board was furious. "This is charity," one executive snapped. "This is emotional decision-making," another argued. Evelyn didn't flinch. "No," she said calmly. "This is clarity." Marcus stood beside her, uncomfortable in a borrowed suit. What? Hands folded the same way they were when he fixed broken sinks and loose wires. "What do you actually do here?" a board member challenged. Marcus met his gaze. "I ask the questions everyone else is afraid to." Silence. The lawsuit that nearly broke Evelyn came to light. Investors had pushed her toward an unethical shortcut. It's one that would have saved money fast and ruined lives quietly. Marcus was the only one who said no. "Fast doesn't mean right," he told them. The vote shifted. Days later, Evelyn did something even more shocking. She announced a new company policy: fair wages for maintenance staff, full scholarships for employees, children, and on-site mental health support. The media called it soft, stockholders called it risky, but profits rose because people worked harder when they felt seen. Weeks later, Marcus walked his son Jordan home from school like always. "Dad," Jordan said, looking up, "are you rich now?" Marcus laughed. "No, are you important?" Marcus stopped walking. "I think," he said slowly, "I was always important. I just didn't know it." Across the street, Evelyn watched from her car, smiling. She hadn't just gained an advisor, she gained her humanity back. And Marcus hadn't just pulled off his jacket that day, he pulled her back from the edge.